What's popular right now that you have zero interest in? Streamer Twitch culture. I've got a friend with Gen Alpha kids, and they refer to their friend group as chat. I'm not judging, but it's a sign of the times. My Gen Alpha niece is just under getting a phone age. Her friend group has a shared Google Doc that they use to talk to each other. Her parents are not allowed to see it. It's just too boring for me. I can't imagine watching these people for hours on end. I listen to podcasts, but at least with that I'm almost always doing something else at the same time. I'm a streamer and I have no idea why people watch me fuck around on Elden Ring for hours. LMAO. I stream to have social interaction when I'm gaming, to know what anyone else gets out of it. Sports betting. My brother has developed a serious sports gambling addiction. He bets on everything and is placing bets almost every day. He's always talking about how much money he makes on big bets, but I never hear about the money he loses. I have a family member who blew the mortgage payment on online slots. Online slots, like how stupid can you be? The physical ones not rigged enough? I have a friend who is going through recovery for alcoholism, and he and I talk about the sports betting problem a lot in the context of how much it takes over sports broadcasts these days. I can't imagine how difficult it is for recovering gambling addicts to watch anything because of how much money lines, odds, and gambling advice is baked into every sports broadcast and commercial. Now, the analog for drinking would be if every play in a football game had an on-screen recommended cocktail and, oh, by the way, you can get a bottle of Maker's Mark in seconds using your smartphone. TikTok. TikTok was the point where I decided to be done keeping up with trends. I didn't want it. I haven't gotten it, and I won't. Hey, Instagram. If I wanted to be on TikTok, I would have joined fucking TikTok. Influencers, YouTubers. I don't have the time to watch other people live their lives. This. I got criticized for not knowing who a random streamer was, and for calling them a random streamer, as if it's weird not to be interested in streamers. It's really dumb. I'm a millennial and recently had 2 Gen Z coworkers laugh at me because I didn't know about a streamer who's apparently popular. Like literally laughed in my face in a non-joking kinda way to make me feel dumb. I had to explain to them I have a family and an actual life outside of my phone, so I don't follow worthless things. We don't talk much anymore, lol. Apparently Donald Trump. I don't get it. Me neither. Many of the people who voted him in won't be helped by him at all. Doubt he'll do much for inflation or the wars either. Plus, Project 2025 is gonna fuck a lot of people over if any of it actually gets put into action. Let's not even get into his criminal and moral history. Broccoli haircuts. It's the evolution of 90s ramen noodle hair. Kids are more health conscious today. Oh, that makes perfect sense why it's popular today. I live in White House, Texas, where Patrick Mahomes is from. I am willing to bet 85% of the kids in sports all have the broccoli, and close to 50% of the boys in the school have it. I guess it's just like the guys sporting the curly perm in the 80s. Thought that one was dumb also. Honestly, the endless cycle of reboots and remakes. Feels like every other movie or show is just a recycled version of something from 20 years ago. Can we get some new ideas, please? Because original content is always a risk. Even if it's good or ends up being a cult classic in a decade or so, if it bombs at the box office, the studio wasted its time and lost money. Reboots and sequels, on the other hand, are connected to an already successful product, so it's a lower risk and studios don't need to try as hard to succeed at the box office. Personally, I don't mind reboots and sequels, as long as they're warranted, but there again, I am a consumer. My priority is different than the priority of a studio which just wants to make money. I saw a bunch of people say Stanley Cups, and I, being not with it, thought they meant the hockey championship. So then I had to ask myself if the hockey finals were happening or something. Then I realized clearly my zero interesting is Stanley Cups because that took me too long to figure out. Pickleball. I'm not into it, but I'm glad people are staying active. Same. Not my thing. But lots of people enjoy it, and it has a no-screen social component. I'm happy it's happening. There are a bunch of courts being built in my town. They won't get any use in a few years. Crocs, Stanley Cups, and TikTok. I'm Kiwi. Most of the things you all are saying Crocs are great for, like checking the mail, I'd just be barefoot for. I just found out the other day that Crocs were now popular outside of nurses and children. Also learned Stanleys are not as popular, and the new overpriced drink vessel is an Oala? Another fun fact, right when Crocs first started being produced, the wardrobe department for the movie Idiocracy chose to use Crocs because they thought they were comically ugly, and didn't think they would ever catch on. Little did they know. To be fair, a lot of aspects of that movie have become prophetic. All this hugely overhyped, generative AI, garbage, like to the point that adding AI to the name of your product is pretty much a one-way ticket to. I don't care about anything else you're about to say. Of note, that's specifically generative AI. I'm all for the stuff that actually makes life better. It's sad that at this point most people don't even realize there's a difference. That's pure dystopia in a nutshell. I work in IT. Oh my god, the amount of generative AI shit that gets crammed down my throat. Seminars, panels, tutorials, company hackathons with a special focus on AI. Everything. I just want to lay in a cornfield during a storm and be one with the dirt. I've got some acreage. Just don't drive your truck into the field when you go, please. A lot of folks think that's fun. Cybertrucks. I have absolutely no idea how they've sold a single one. They're ugly as shit, and they are garbage as an actual truck. I help out some friends on their forest agriculture plot, and one of the things we do is sell Christmas trees. The busiest weekend, 2 before Christmas, it snowed like crazy, so some vehicles were having trouble getting up the hill. I pulled out 2 Cybertrucks using a '63 Ford pickup. One almost slid completely off the road. The other guy was so embarrassed after having to be rescued he turned around and didn't stop. Thing is, plenty of grocery getter SUVs and sedans made it just fine. 100% of the Cybertrucks got stuck. Fascism, evidently. My problem is I have a lot of interest in fascism, studied it in grad school, teach about it, etc. I wish I had no interest in fascism because then I'd be a bit more sanguine about our current moment. And racism. I found out my father voted Trump and asked why. He told me a story about Mexican prostitute rings and said, "I hate Trump, but something had to be done. The thing he wants is to close the border, thereby making all immigrants illegal and forcing them to come in contact with the pimps he's going on about." This is the same guy who thinks banning guns is pointless on that exact logic. This election has shown me nothing has to make sense if you shout it loud enough. Trump was supported almost entirely by super PAC money, so he got the W. You simply can't oppose the billionaires. Vaping. It's fucking idiotic. Vapes are out, we're on ZYNS now. The fact I don't know what those are makes me feel very old. Don't worry, they'll be replaced by Fnorts in a couple years. It helped me quit smoking, and I completely lost interest in vaping after that. I'm 100% a fan. Should we just go back to smoking cigarettes? Well, at least it looked cooler, lol. Sabrina Carpenter. The espresso song is just so boring for me. Can't enter a gym, or a grocery store, or a restaurant without it blaring into my ears. I can't name a single song of hers, I just know she's the one that looks like a pin-up girl they'd put on World War II bombers. This description might explain why I find her so attractive, as a straight female. People confuse overplayed songs with bad songs. Not that they can't be both. Trading and crypto. Taylor Swift. This is a testament to her career though. This woman has been popular since 2009 at least. That's kind of insane. Exactly this. At 31 I feel like I've been haunted by that woman for most of my life. All the other music I hated from my teenage years seems to have fallen out of fashion, but she's still around. Fillers and plastic surgery. I didn't realize how pervasive they already were. And now that there's been this boom about how plastic surgery and fillers are somehow body positive, people are absolutely chomping at the bit to have procedures done. It makes me feel incredibly sad and hopeless. It's fillers and Botox and BB-less on one side, and a startlingly high rate of steroid and performance-enhancing drugs on the other side. It's all a side effect of social media-induced body dysmorphia. Podcasts. I just can't. I always get bored, or somewhere in between distracted and focused, to a point where I can't pay attention to either the podcast or my work. I'd rather read a book when I get free time. And Marvel. Fuck Marvel. Worshipping celebs. Not a trend. It's absolutely ancient. ZYN nicotine pouch thing. I genuinely don't understand how everyone uses these. Nicotine is just getting easier and easier to indulge in and overdo. If your options were dip and cigarettes, cigars before, now you can vape semi-discreetly with a battery and pod that lasts all day and punch your brain repeatedly with nicotine hits until your tolerance is absolutely shot and you're hard hooked. ZYNs are even more discreet. Slip it under your lip and let it marinate, and most people won't even notice it's there. At work, at home, anytime you want. That means you probably want one all the time though, because you can just spit it out and put a new one in whenever. Again, good luck with your cravings and tolerance at that point. Snapchat? It's passé to me since 2016. They added Discover, which subjected me to all sorts of cringe from people from across the world. I wanted only stuff from my friends. I deleted the app and never looked back. Look at where we are now. Every app now has cringe from people from across the world. What's popular right now that you have zero interest in? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.